Ons volgende gas, ek dink hy hou van dans. I don't know. Brent Lindeque. He's a dancer. He's a jogger. Hi, Brent.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm a jogger and
You're a
I'm also
jogger.
a dancer. During lockdown, I've somehow found TikTok, and it's sort of consumed my life, which is ridiculous because I'm over 35. I need to stop these silly things.
You need to stop with TikTok. No, Brent, just before we get to the introduction, I saw you said you've got this love for a certain chocolate, and with the lockdown, you enjoyed a lot of it, but you also, all of a sudden, you do a daily 10K in your yard, but now luckily you can go outside. But so you, and that's just to balance the chocolate out. Well
Yeah,
done.
so I've never eaten chocolate before, and I've never had an affinity towards it. And I think just during lockdown, I've really just got stuck into chocolates, and I was a bit worried about my weight, gyms not being open. So I started running. I've never been able to do more than like 1 or 2 kilometers, and I'm now hitting 10 kilometers a day, which is bizarre. It's just crazy.
That's amazing. Before the lockdown, I never knew my wife after 20 years. Brent, let's just introduce you properly. Probably. Dan gaan hulle my weer uithaal.
Ja. Nee, hulle moenie jou uithaal.
Probably. Properly. Okay, Brent, we're going to do this in Afrikaans. Want ek is klaar met hierdie rooi nek taal, hoor. Ek is nou regtig klaar.
As jy Afrikaans praat, dan sal ek Engels praat, because I'm not 100% confident in my Afrikaans, but I understand it fully.
Okay. Probably the next question. Yeah. Just introduce yourself. I mean, you're the good things guy, and you've been one of the 100 most influential young South Africans. I think you came like 4th. You're really doing amazing work. Just how did you start this whole thing, and a little bit of a background about yourself? Where did you grow up?
Yes, what a story. So I grew up in the south of Johannesburg, and a couple of years ago, it was almost 6 years ago, there was something happening globally called neck nominations, where people were drinking for fun online and sharing those videos while nominating others to also drink alcohol and do really silly things. And I was watching this from South Africa, and I just thought to myself, you know, can we not use our social media to perhaps do something better, to help each other? And so I decided to feed a homeless person. I used that as my neck nomination, and I started what is now known as a global revolution. Everybody around the world, millions of people, decided to use their neck nomination to also do random acts of kindness. And that made me realize that there's really good things happening in the world, really beautiful things that we just don't know about. And I opened up a Facebook page, was the first start of Good Things Guy, sharing one good news story from South Africa every day. And I don't know, 6 years later, we share up to 15 good news stories a day. We've become South Africa's biggest top good news site. It's turned into a fully fledged business. So there's writers writing good news every single day. And our mission is being accomplished. It's to change the narrative of our country and to just make people feel more proudly South African.
And even with the egg challenge, I was challenged, but luckily you turned it around just before I had to do it, or make my video. And even there, you changed the silliness around into a very good feel, and it kind of got you emotional as well. But I think all of us, we are a bit more emotional.
That egg challenge, people think I'm against drinking. They think I'm this guy that just doesn't want to drink. The reality is you can find me normally when we're not in lockdown at like Billy the Bums every Friday night. I enjoy drinking. I enjoy having a good time. But I just feel we have the power of our own platforms to really make a difference. So the egg challenge came along. I really didn't want to drink tequila, and I didn't want to drink a raw egg, really, was the way I was looking at that. And I contacted SPAR head office, and I just said to them, look, we need to be doing something for South Africans right now. South Africans are really hungry. There's a lot of vulnerable South Africans that are going without food because there's no work. Can we place some sort of trolley or box or something in front of your stores, and let's turn this around? And, within 48 hours, the SPAR group had raised 1.2 million rand and had already fed 35,000 people. So just really, really good news coming out of that silly, silly challenge.
And I think, was it a challenge, so people can trust you, that level? Because a lot of people try charity. There's a lot of people that's taking advantage of people. But like you're an industry name now. I mean, your brand is trusted. And I think that must be an amazing feeling. And it was hard work.
It is an amazing feeling, and I'm very thankful for the platform I've been given. I say the universe has given me an incredible gift, but I'm just the middleman, really. The people on the ground and the people doing the amazing work are my readers. Those are the people that listen to the stories and that get their hands dirty. And a great story, Operation Hunger, has been feeding thousands of South Africans during this time. And our readers, whether they give 10 Rand or 5 Rand or 50 Rand, have accomplished more than R1 million in the last 7 weeks. And those are the heroes. Those are the people that we need to be celebrating, is the people on the ground actually doing the work.
And then just on a personal level, we're going to chat a bit later about you, nearly ending up in jail because of T-shirts. But how did the lockdown affect you? I mean, we started off with the first 4 weeks or even 2 weeks, and we thought, it's a bit of it's fun, it's something different, and we were united. And then we became more and more godful, and luckily you're there to share the good stories. But just on a personal level, did you go through some ups and downs and maybe a bit mad at government now and then or not?
So every day is a different day, and I'm very vocal on social media about where I stand. And if I'm having a bad day, I promote that and I put that on my social media, because I also need people to realize that I'm not this person that's not real, this thing that has an idea that I might be happy all the time. What we're going through now is incredibly traumatic, and I know that sounds bizarre. Stay at home and watch Netflix, watch CakeNet. Like that's not terrible, but actually the removal of our normalcy is really traumatic. And that's something that we're all coping with. And I have good days and I have bad days, and I'm not afraid to embrace those feelings and let people know how I'm feeling, because we're all going through this. And it's such a cliche thing to say that we are going to get through this together. But the only way we'll do that is by being honest with who we are. This is a hard thing for all of us. I see it. I don't want to say the front line, because the front line is really essential workers. But I'm in the front of the stories of South Africans that are really, really, really battling. And the number of those South Africans is millions. It's millions and millions of people that are losing their jobs, that don't have food, that are unemployed, that don't know where their futures are, and that's traumatic. Like, that's a lot of angst to hold on to.
Yes. Brent, ons gaan net verder gesels, so bly net waar jy is. Ons gesels met Brent Lindeque, is 'n persoonlikheid en ook baie bekend geword met The Good Things Guy. Ek weet ook hy het ons met Ruben gesels wat ons drive time show doen. So Brent, welcome back.
Thank you. It's great being on the show.
Someone's asking me on our WhatsApp, vra vir Brent om sy skoene vir julle te wys. Ben Leroux, what is that all about?
So it's different doing interviews from home. I can't believe this must be someone who follows me on Twitter. So I run from 7:30. So I'm business up here. This is all good. But then I've got my running sort of leggings on, and then I got my slippers on.
Fantastic. That's good. So talking about clothes and shoes, you nearly went to jail for buying a T-shirt. What happened there? It's such a fun story.
The one thing that South Africans are good at, it's laughing at ourselves. We tend to move towards laughter, especially in times when it's tragic or like when we're dealing with a lot of stuff. And that's exactly why I wrote the Dear Diary lockdown sort of diary sessions. It was after the ministers released the regulations, which I just found were so ridiculous, to talk about the fact that we can buy certain things and we can't buy certain things with regards to COVID-19. What? Does open-toed shoes really have an issue with the virus at the moment? So yeah, I put a little piece together just to make people laugh, and it was a story about how I went shopping for new clothing on the day after regulations, only to find myself deserted in the t-shirt section with security staring at me very angrily obviously because we weren't allowed to buy T-shirts or aren't allowed to buy T-shirts at this time. Luckily, I found the slippers and I made my way out. But that's the point, is that sometimes these regulations are so bizarre and so crazy, and the only way we'll get through this confusion is to have a little bit of a laugh.
The one thing for me that's also very nice, if you go to your website, the Good Things Guy, is just even still promoting other charities. You know, I'm just open up the full list of South African charities to support during the lockdown. I mean, even we as a media house are now on crowdfunding to keep doors open as a community radio station and a TV program. And it's amazing that people still give. And I mean, and they're not stopping. Someone sent me a message now, say they're going to give us some money, although they don't have income at the moment. Someone said, her father said, take my social grant, 300 Rand, to give to this. And for us, we must just make it very clear at Groot FM as well, that don't just support us. And I think that's your heart as well. There's so much need, even you listed it, the animal welfare, the child welfare, charities dealing with food parcels. And it's fantastic. I really think you must realize what a difference you make.
Thank you. Yeah, it's our readers have been contacting us, asking us if there is some sort of compiled list somewhere where they can find the charities that they can support right now. And the reality is there isn't. Like there's nowhere where you can click and you can see a list of all the charities. So yesterday we started compiling a list. That's not the end result. This is a evolving document, and we're waiting for more people to add their voices so that we can add their charities into this. But the point is, it's a starting point that we can look at how we can help as South Africans. And like you said, if it's the smallest amount of money, that goes into a pot, and that pot gets bigger so they can help each other. One of the craziest things, the animal welfare sort of links that we put up there, one of the things that we may forget is that in our informal settlements, a lot of families have animals, and it's beautiful. They look after their animals, they love their animals, but in times like this, when you can't even feed yourselves, how are you going to feed your dogs or cats? And there's been charities and organizations that have stepped up and are just looking after the informal settlements animals. I mean, we've written stories about how there's one woman in the Cape Town area in Khayelitsha that's going into Khayelitsha every single day, and she's helping feed the family's best friend, just to make sure, yes, you've got a food parcel that you may have got, but what about your little doggy or cat? So we've tried to list everything there. The child welfare, also very important. Gender-based violence as well. During this time, there's people that are suffering within their own houses. So we've tried to be cognizant of all of that and sort of add all the charities in. But if there are more to add, please let us know, and we'll keep adding those in.
You just need another one, and it will be TV Presenters Wives Fund. Very important. Just work that one in, yeah.
We'll put that in the bottom as like a footnote.
Ja, asof net hier onder. Brent, baie dankie vir jou tyd. Baie dankie vir wie jy is. You a true South African. Ons is almal trots op jou en hou aan doen wat jy doen.
Baie dankie. It was very lekker to be on the show.
Great stuff.
Yeah, you guys are doing an awesome job.
Thank you. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your jog.
Lekker.
Cheers. Bye. Dit was Brent Lindeque, en jy kan regtig gaan na Good Things Guy ondersteun, want hy doen ongelooflike werk. En tot hy was bietjie kwaad vir minister Tutoon Patel. Nee, dit klink soos
Patel.
Dis my nuwe naam vir daai minister, minister Tutoon Patel.